The centre has in fact announced a major step to tackle question paper leaks and examination fraud. Fast-track courts will now be set up to hear the issue as such. Now, what we understand is that these fast-track courts have been also announced by the Prime Minister, and he has said that these fast-track courts will ensure that those who are involved in it will not go unpunished. Now, these fast-track courts will be set up as soon as possible as the move comes under the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Act of 2024, which is in fact being looked into. Now, the first phase will cover the jurisdiction of Bombay High Court, and we will in fact see that they will be set up in several metros. There will be speedy hearings to ensure speedy trials and faster justice. We are seeing that the courts will be functioning from the Calcutta High Court, the Delhi High Court and the Madhya Pradesh High Court. The decision comes at a crucial time. Several NEET papers leak cases fall under the Nagpur, Aurangabad and Calcutta High Court jurisdiction. Meanwhile, cases have been in fact filed in several other major cities as well. Questions about how this would in fact be looked into is something that needs to be taken care of. Meanwhile, cases that have also been due to the alleged lathi charge on student protesters in Delhi fall under this particular code. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Brijesh Pandey, Input Director for News9, who in fact joins us. Brijesh, fast-track courts only to look into this particular aspect of the paper leak, and at the same time, this is supposed to give speedy justice, get the people involved, get them convicted, put them behind bars for this crime that they conducted. But however, the procedure has to go through. You have to have an investigation happening. The crime has to be proven, and then you would see how the fast-track courts actually work.
Well, I think it's a big outreach by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the students who are protesting there at Jantar Mantar. One of the key area of complaint whenever there's a paper leak and then investigation is done is about the duration through which it goes through the court, and it takes an inordinate amount of time before anybody is pronounced guilty or is let go of. So to make sure that there is a speedy trial, to make sure that the person who are indulging in this paper leak case and all of them who are involved in it, the government wants to make sure that this speedy trial will make sure that there's speedy delivering of justice, and that is the reason why the government has announced these fast tracks court to expedite the investigation, expedite the trial which is going on in many cases. There have been 4 centers right now as we speak, and you pointed out to our viewers, in Bombay High Court, Kolkata High Court, and you have also Madhya Pradesh and Delhi High Court. So it'll be interesting to see that the government has also reached out to other states as well and said that they should also set up fast track courts to make sure that there's a speedy deliverance as far as justice is concerned.
When we talk about these fast-track courts, each fast-track court has its own kind of area to look into. This is exclusively only for this kind of exam frauds that are going to occur, which also put out the fact that probably the government is saying that we can put a foolproof system, but we don't know who could in fact break it.
Well, there's no foolproof system. Irrespective of whatever kind of system you have, there's always one person who is able to break it. The only thing which acts as a deterrence is a good investigation and a speedy trial. If the trial is tardy and goes on for a long duration of time, people's trust in judiciary breaks, and that is the reason why this particular fast track court would be music to the ears of people who have been suffering because of these paper leaks, because a paper leak is not limited to 1 to 100 people. It impacts a vast swath of students, the future of this country and all, and that is the reason why if the government has taken a decision, I think it's a welcome decision. And it's also, as I said at the start, it's a reach out by the government, reach out by the Prime Minister to the students who are protesting at the CJP. And it'll be interesting to see if this particular announcement has any kind of impact on the dharna which is going on at the Jantar Mantar.
Also, interestingly enough, now we have seen the courts that are going to the Kolkata High Court, you have the Madhya Pradesh High Court that would be in fact having these fast-track courts. But, some of these things had happened like in the states of Maharashtra, in Rajasthan. These were the places where you would actually find the cases happening. But those states seem to be somewhere missed.
Well, I think, Maharashtra, they have Bombay High Court is going to be one of the key fast-track court as far as the 4 names which have been announced by the government of India. And I think, slowly and steadily, they will. They have already asked other states to set up a fast-track court to deal with this kind of eventuality. I think, if the fast courts, because appointing a fast-track court is just part A of the entire challenge. I think to ensure that it's able to deliver a speedy justice, because if you look at the number of cases that would come before them is also going to be pretty overwhelming. So, but I think it's a good decision, it's a good start by the government of India that they have set up a fast-track court to ensure that there's a day-to-day hearing and there's a speedy trial and speedy deliverance of justice as far as these paper leaks are concerned.
Well, thank you, Rajesh, for in fact giving us the perspective on this particular aspect of the government's announcement. Especially, Prime Minister has also gone ahead and tweeted about it and saying that it is an attempt to ensure that the people get justice.